Hello and welcome back to another episode. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Ouch That Hurts. I am your host, Yolani, and in today's podcast episode, I will be talking more about the habits that you need to implement before the year 2023 ends. So, without any more chit-chatting, let's get started. The very first thing that I want you to do before the year ends is to have, and I know this is so oversaid, but I realize that it does change your life, and I'm not exaggerating. So it would be waking up early, and that means it has to be 2 hours before you have to be somewhere or you have to go somewhere. So let's say that your job starts at 8 and it takes you an hour to get there. So you leave home at 7. So that means you need to wake up at 5. And the reason being is because you have to dedicate 2 hours of yourself before you're able to commit to a job. And if you want to be productive and if you want to be the best at your job, you got to learn how to do it. So the very first thing, that's the first one. All right. So waking up 2 hours before you have to leave your house. So important because it gives you time to, one, take a shower, 2, get ready, like do your makeup, do your hair, do whatever you got to do to look presentable. And also it gives you time to eat a healthy breakfast. And also it could give you time, 20 or 30 minutes, to do a little bit of exercise. And that means going to the gym or staying at home and practicing that yoga routine you've always wanted to do. Why is it so important? Well, waking up in the morning, we've seen so many studies out there that state that the most successful people wake up early. And those studies tell us so many things and tell us that it does improve your mental health, especially people that are doing so many things at once. And a good example of people who do so many things at once could be Oprah Winfrey. She wakes up really early. I'm not 100% at what time, but she wakes up really early because she has to do a couple things before she has to go and do her own duties. So waking up is so important, but also you gotta go to your bed earlier than ever. And it's such a really hard habit. I think it's very hard to go to sleep early than to wake up early. So my other tip, and it's one of the most over said, but the reason why is it so important is because I realized that I've changed, 1, my vocabulary, and 2, the way that I present myself to people. I think when I start reading my books and start reading the books that I enjoy reading, I become more passionate about what I love, and I become someone more interesting and become more someone who's different than someone else, because reading does give you that power. And I know I'm gonna say this cliche, knowledge is power, but it is important. If you start reading things that no one reads, you are going to be by far more successful, not because you know more things, but because you program your brain to discover new ways and discover new fields and think differently. When you start learning about money or you start learning about physics or you start learning about biology, you see things from a different point of view, and you see it, and it makes you more of an asset to a friend, or it makes you a better friend. It makes you more understanding. It makes you understand that it's not just a one-sided opportunity. And that's why people who read tend to have better communication skills and better opportunities for growth and have better friends on average. So reading is essential. So start reading. If you don't have to read an hour, but if you can, you should do it. But I would say read 15 minutes or 10 minutes your first day, and then once you start getting into that habit, you're gonna love it so much and you're never gonna forget. Another important tip that I want to let everyone know is the importance of eliminating distractions. And the distraction and the destruction of the 21st century is social media. We are accustomed of being on our phones from the moment that we wake up and the moment that we go to sleep. And that is very, very disheartening, because we've seen how people change their behaviors. When you start consuming content that perhaps is negative and it doesn't have the best value, you will become that negative, and you're gonna have self-doubt throughout your day. And that's why cutting time from your screen is so important. So the best way for you to not be on your phone is to immediately leave the room, because if you do that, then you're not going to be on your phone. You have to go immediately to the bathroom. And if you go to the bathroom and brush your teeth and you take a shower, you're going to be by far more likely to not have your phone out as much. Another important tip is to watch more TED Talks. And why watching TED Talk will improve your chances of success? Well, number one, I would consider TED Talk like a course. You have the ability to acknowledge the presence of different people from different fields, and you are able to see their perspectives, their life experiences, and what they bring to the table. That is so important, because the more knowledge you have, like I said previously, the more lucrative you become. All right, the next idea that I have, and is so important, is to eat your greens. And I know people are like, what is that? Like, why eating your greens makes a difference? Well, when you know that when you are eating things that will help your body, you are more likely to be more energetic. And if you're more energetic, you're going to be more productive. And if you're more productive, you're going to be happier. And if you're happier, you're going to achieve those goals that you have in mind. And it's just a slippery slope. And I think I've talked about this on my podcast episodes in the past, but eating healthy is important. And also eating the things that you like, such as once in a while opportunity, going to, let's say, Chick-fil-A, or going to your favorite restaurant doesn't hurt you, and it shouldn't hurt you. Understanding that you have the opportunity to change someone's life. And that's either by teaching someone or volunteering. Volunteering is so important, and that's something that I'm going to do with my friends. Volunteering does make you happier, and we have seen in different studies. I took this course on Coursera, and I think I already talked about this on my podcast episodes, but it is so important to volunteer for a cause that you believe in, and that is the success, and that's the pill of happiness. And that is why it's so important to volunteer for a cause that you love. For example, if you care so much about animals, go and volunteer at an animal camp or an animal organization. So there's different organizations for the different causes that you advocate. So start doing them. Another good tip for 2024, or not 2024, but for right now, is to improve your physical appearance. And by that is taking a little bit of more time to, for example, do something that is completely different than what you're used to. Like, for example, have a hair mask, or get your nails done, or do your eyebrows. Do things that don't require so much time and that will help you get ready in the morning faster. All right. The next thing is to have a circle of really good friends and meet people that are like-minded, and also understand that you're not going to be loved and cared by everyone. And I know that's a very, very hard pill to swallow, but we all have to understand that not everyone's going to like us. People are still allergic to gold, and gold is incredible and amazing, and I want to have it all the time. I want to have my gold earrings and gold necklaces, but some people are just allergic, and you have to acknowledge that not everyone's gonna like you, and you have to be okay with it. And that's something that we all are suffering, because we want to be liked, we want to be cared, And it's something that no one teaches us. In school, no one teaches us that not everyone's going to like us. They make us believe that everyone's going to be loved and cared, but no, that's not true. So start acknowledging that and you will leave your best self. And another thing before I end this video is stop doing the things that other people want you to do. Stop thinking that by you doing them a favor, they're gonna like you more. That's not right. You need to acknowledge that people have to like you, whether you have to realize that even if you do them a favor, they're not gonna like you, and that their love and support is not going to be reciprocated, and that you have to be fine with it. So start being more attentive and try to sort out those good and bad friends, because when you know that you have really powerful and strong-minded friends, you're going to be like this. You're going to be strong-minded. So sort people who are mean to you, who don't create any value, and just let them go and just let them be who they want to be, and don't argue or disagree with them, because there's no point in doing that. So with that being said, thank you so much for listening to today's podcast episode. I hope you enjoy it. Especially today is my first time I'm recording an episode since probably June, and this is super exciting because I already have my Christmas tree, and thanks to my mom who really enjoys Christmas. And this time we have a pink tree. So with that being said, thank you so much for listening to today's podcast episode, and I'll see you in the next episode.